you have your web services. So you're really communicating not directly with your Glass users, but with the Mirror API. So it's something important to think about, especially in terms of what your clients want or allow you to do in terms of healthcare and all those kind of regulations. We typically build on Google App Engine. We actually run JavaScript on the JVM version of App Engine and kind of took, modified some of the Mirror API calls and made them into JavaScript. So that's how we typically build stuff, and it's pretty straightforward. I think it's basic functionality and it's a RESTful architecture, so it's pretty easy to get the APIs. The hardest thing I found is, unlike these guys who are a lot smarter, when I was trying to design, I just put a bunch of stuff, a bunch of information on the glass, and then I put it up and saw that it looked terrible. You do have a limited space. Apparently the color white is really, really blinding. So that's why they have a black background on a lot of the stuff on the cards. But those kind of things you kind of get to experiment with quickly. They have a playground where you can kind of use their predefined templates in CSS right on a browser, push it directly to your card. And that cycle is really quick. So I would recommend doing things like these guys were talking about and kind of getting a feel for what data you want to have on there, because you really have a limited space.
That's a very good point. As with any thing that you plan on building, you have to definitely give a lot of thought as to what problem you're trying to solve and what the right tool for the job is. The Mirror API is very simple to use. As Antonio mentioned, it's RESTful, it's web-based, so pretty much any language that is modern enough to make simple get, post, patch calls. You're able to interact with Google's Mirror service, and that in turn sends that data to the user's Glass. But it does have its limitations. Super quick with my story, back in June, early part of June, late May, I released a proof of concept that would send a random fitness, actually it was I don't know how many people here have heard of the 7-minute workout that was super popular on New York Times? Yeah, so what I did was I took that, I randomized it, and used my service to send that card over to the user's Glass, whoever had authorized my glassware to allow it to come to their Glass. And it worked pretty well. However, it was sad that with all the technology that was in this device, all I was doing was sending an instructional card on how to do a sit-up, which was kind of boring. So back in August, early September, I decided to do what Antonio just said, just sort of do the same thing that I was doing, but in a different way. Just go native, try to see whether I can access some of the hardware. Remember that the right tool for the job was not alienating some of the existing official APIs that were out there for Glass, which is the Mirror API. So essentially, what I'll be releasing pretty soon, actually, it's already being tested, is a hybrid app, and I'm sure you guys would be pretty excited to see what a hybrid style work, and we're doing this in anticipation for an official GDK, right? GDK is not released yet. We don't know what it's going to look like, but we have an idea, especially we know what kind of sensors that we want to access. And the future product would, for example, follow your settings, and if your preferences were not to sit at your desk for longer than an hour, at that hour, I sort of send you a sedentary alert, and I actually guide you through a workout, which is pure video, from one of our content partners, and hopefully some of the largest fitness to exercise, music to exercise content partners in the world.
All right, I'm shutting up now. I really want to say that keep tweeting at DevFestDC if you want to get one of these guys. And I want to open the floor for you now to ask questions to them. So please, who has a question? And let's start with this gentleman here.
I'm an avid bike rider, so what kind of sensors does Google Glass have?
Everybody heard the question?
Just use the mic. So I'm an avid bike rider, and we have heart rate monitors, GPS, and all that stuff, and then you have to look down at your bike for your stats. So what kind of, does Glass have Bluetooth? Can you talk to these sensors? Can you talk a little bit to that?
Before you guys start answering, just let's try to keep the answers short so that we give a lot of opportunity for people to answer. So, go ahead. Whoever wants to reply.
Sure. It has GPS on Glass. It has Bluetooth capabilities as well. It has an accelerometer. So you can imagine some of the stuff that you can do. I would advise sort of weighing your options, how often you use those sensors though, because of the battery limitations we talked about before. And remember that people are always going to be wearing other wearables on them when they're engaging in biking, for example. In my case, it would be a heart rate monitor. And since this thing pairs with a Bluetooth capable device, if your heart rate monitor is Bluetooth, you'll be able to sort of smartly talk to it or have that device talk to your service and then send something to Glass.
Hi, I have a question about if you wear the glass and you can take picture of me, is there any privacy in that I can see that you are doing so? So that like it blink or something, I know that you are doing that?
The screen is, when I turn it on, you'll probably be able to see it from back there, that the screen lights up. There are privacy concerns that I've heard about this, but to be honest, like if I want to secretly take a picture of you, like I just hold up my phone and look like I'm checking my email. That's a lot easier and much less noticeable than, tilting my head up and saying, "Okay, Glass, take a picture." I mean, that's not exactly efficient. But you hear it ding. So I think it's been kind of overstated that it's the privacy concerns about it, because it really is pretty obvious when someone's using Glass versus not using their Glass.
Well, one thing I would add is like what you said is true. There is two ways you can take a picture. One is you have to use a hand to do something, or you have to speak up. So if you do both, somebody has to go and see you.
Yeah, Google, this thing got loud for a second. Google designed this thing to have some social cues, right? So like John said, okay, Glass, take a picture is something that makes everyone around you hear. Another social cue, something that we're all sort of familiar with, which is the act of taking a picture. So they strategically, I think, put this up here so that when you do this, you can tell someone's taking a picture of you. Privacy is always going to be a concern, and people are always going to be afraid of what they don't understand. I actually very recently, shameless plug, started a Glass education project. And if you look on Google+, you'll see some cards. Several months back in February, I created the Glass Etiquette project, which also got a lot of attention. But the Glass Education project is pretty ridiculous, right? If you think about it, because you actually are telling people what they already know, but they didn't realize that existing technology sort of, this isn't brand new. It actually sort of borrows from existing technology. And some of those concerns and social cues and things that we evolved to understand and use and sort of apply here.
I'd like to ask if you guys have any experience working with other ecosystems, like Google Glass, as I understand, is one ecosystem as such. How about communicating with Android, like other devices, maybe even non-Google ecosystems as such? Have you done anything like that?
Just from a personal side, I have a Fitbit Flex, and the API is pretty open. It'd probably take me an afternoon to kind of push the stuff that's here, like how many steps I did every 2 hours, and put it here in a simple card. But I look for devices that have open APIs and make it easy. Most of them are RESTful APIs. You just have to authenticate, and you can do things like put this data here, just like someone was mentioning about the bike. You might already have a phone, and with the iPhones with the 64-bit processor and the sensors in that, you might leverage that to push information here. So it's not that your Glass device is doing all the processing. It could be other wearables that you have.
Yeah, my question is, such close, the eyes watching the screen, especially on one eye, it's going to cause problem for the eye for the long term.
So there is no really proven problem with that, but if you really look at it, it's like, I think it's 3 feet. So what you're seeing is not really seeing the glass, but you're seeing something 3 feet away from you. So again, one of the key principles, as you said, learn the glass, educate, repair. You have to use the glass when you need it, but it's not designed to watch a movie actually. You don't want to go. See, even if you go watch a baseball or football game, you could probably get the score or get some feedback or something, but it's on a frequency basis. It's not like a continuous video watch. That would obviously going to hurt your eyes.
I have a question here. I think one of you talked about the support use case where the tech support can wear the Google Glass and use it. So how that Google Glass works in terms of rainy weather, dark places, and as you know, support people doesn't take care of the device well, just to throw out the device. But as I feel, all you wearing, you have the sense that hey, I'm wearing something, it cost about $500, $600, right? So I don't want to throw it. I can throw my watch, which is like $99, but the Pebble watch, I can still throw it, but it won't break. But how about this Google Glass? Like, do you feel that hey, does that work in the dark situation? And when you bend, for example, you climb somewhere else in the tree or in the post, you want to fix something when you want to bend it. Hey, is that the Google Glass going to fall? What is your experience?
I think I mentioned the IT support, but in my experience, well, the new version can kind of attach to regular glasses, but I think it can be used in all sorts of environments, from construction sites to IT support. I don't know. I think it'll turn into a boring device in that you come to work, you put on your glass, and maybe you do some work, whether it's in construction, you take your punch list, or you do your IT support, you can get your tickets, and it'll be just a normal device that you use at work, and you'll stop thinking about it as this special device. It'll be, yeah, I have a phone, it'll be kind of the norm. That's my thinking, and I'm sure they'll make it more rugged in the future.
Yeah, I would argue that being that this is the most expensive piece of eyewear that I've ever owned, the likelihood of me throwing it is very slim.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is, we were trying some kind of use case in Verizon where the tech people, as you know, if the TV is not working, they need to climb up to a post to fix it. But I have visited their offices, how they treat all these instruments, because for them it's a company, device, but for company it's a cost. So how, when the company evaluate all these things, what is the possibility of bringing that Google Glass into the ecosystem and see how that fits in?
I found that actually glass is pretty durable, though there have been a few issues with the first generation hardware, which they seem to have addressed a little bit in the second generation. One is that if it's wet for too long, the screen has been prone to fall apart a bit. And there have been some issues with the plastic battery attachments part breaking a little bit. Google's support for glass, though, has been really phenomenal. They have a sort of a glass concierge that you call, and they're really quite top rate in terms of getting tech support on your device and getting questions answered. If you get invited into the Explorer program, you can actually go to New York and they'll spend several hours with you if you want, getting your device calibrated and set up and so forth, which is kind of nice. I don't imagine that'll last forever, but it's certainly nice right now. In terms of, in a field environment, the other thing I would say that might be a bit of a challenge in some field environments is if you're in very bright light, it tends to wash the screen out. But, as an overall device, it's certainly as durable as your iPhone or whatever. The rims here are a titanium rim, so, it's very flexible in terms of that aspect.
Our research company, we played basketball with it. I should say our research is only 3 people, and I've played basketball with it. I've, like I said, gone running with it. I've destroyed the first generation, and as John said, it's been improved quite a bit. It hugs the face in an intense game of whatever you're into. I don't know how they do it. I chalk it up to sorcery.
Do you see a future with the Mirror API, or is that something that's sort of a stopgap that's going to get sunsetted? Also, the rumors are sort of GDK is going to come out officially this month. Sort of great that KitKat just came out. And do you guys see KitKat being available on the new GDK? Sort of speculate there with the cool Bluetooth LE, some of the new sensors in KitKat, and just kind of want to see your thoughts on where that's going.
Before you, oops, sorry about that. Before you go on answering, we're running out of time, so I'm going to give you the chance to 2 more questions, and then you feel free to answer any question you want. So go ahead, do a very quick question. I want to have another question on that side, and then you answer the questions.
Yeah, I'll excuse myself from that.
I've been a developer on many platforms so far, and I'm brand new to Google Glass. So every time I'm thinking of an application, you're thinking what you want it to do. You want your imagination to run wild and come up with some productive applications. But at the same time, you also want to be cautious of what if you fall down. So along those same lines, the question I have is there even theoretical possibility that somebody can hack into your Google Glasses and see what you are seeing without you even knowing about it?
Okay, so probably we'll
let's
get
take
all
the final
the
question, and then feel free to take it.
Hi, I was just wondering if you can put voice commands into any app that you're developing, and if so, like how well does that work? Can you just put in any command you want? How good is the recognition?
So I could take that last one because I've done that. So you can get a voice response from a card. You can't customize there's prompts that Google actually gives you when you say, okay, Glass. Right now you can't customize those, but hopefully you will in the future. The voice recognition is the Google cloud-based voice recognition. So it's, Google Now, all the other Google services you work with, it's about as good as that. If you don't have network connectivity, it won't work. So you do get fairly high fidelity audio capture out of it for short phrases. And as far as the Mirror API, I think that's going to stay for a very long time. I think that Mirror will be kind of the launch point as you interact with your apps.
What was your question?
About the security, is it even theoretically possible for somebody to hack into the glasses and see what you're seeing without you knowing?
I guess if you, who knows? I mean, this is, in my belief, why Google launched the Mirror API and scrutinizes on who can build, and the approval process is pretty stringent. You're going through Google services, you're going through, obviously, Google servers and security. And in order to do that, someone would actually have to physically take the device off your face, and that way they can see your stuff. I can, and nothing is impossible. I'm pretty sure that's possible. Just like someone can snoop. I'm sure they're doing that right now. My fine friends of the government. They can just listen to this conversation and chuckle at that comment right there. You're gonna say anything? Anything's possible, but right now the security measures are pretty decent.
Yeah, to an extent, just a quick answer. It's the same as a phone, actually. Whatever your phone can be hacked, it's the same level Google Glass can be hacked. That is the case.
Did we answer the question from Andy about Android KitKat?
Yeah, the KitKat, I think they asked all the Explorer to submit for the GDK. I think it's going to be available in a couple of weeks. But the Mirror is there for, I'm thinking it's going to be there for a long time because of the simplicity and the control Google has in terms of providing the content.
And KitKat is the latest Android release. The device is on Android 404, which is quite a ways back now. I would expect that they will bring those code lines together, but I'm not sure if they're going to do it immediately, or what the timeline is for that. Because I think part of what they're trying to do is really build out some very specific capabilities for Glass. The next wave of things I think that we're going to see is in addition to the GDK, it looks like we're going to start to get gestures where you can start to do things with your hands out here to manipulate the video and objects in space, which personally I'm very excited about. And I think that's going to just be a complete game changer for the device. So I think they are going to be conservative about their OS upgrade approach simply because they want to stay focused on making this the best device experience possible. And when KitKat can deliver that, they'll probably move to it. But
yeah, just one last thing. The first wave of apps, if they're the official apps, probably have the limited capabilities that the Mirror API has. But the second wave, I think it's just going to take off because there's like 10 sensors. I don't even know all the sensors that Glass has, but you're going to be able to do so much more, and you'll probably see some things you haven't even thought of yet.
Running out of time, I'm sorry. I believe that most of us are going to be hanging out here today, but not me. I'm fine in an hour, but everybody else is going to stay here, so feel free to approach any Google Glass guy in the area so you can keep asking questions. Before we finish, please give these guys a big hand. Also, to Steve is the generous offer to get Google Glass invites, so please help him. And also, we have a few words from AOL before we finish, so let me pass the floor. And
all right. Hi, good morning, everyone. Okay, gosh, that's a great crowd here. My name is Carl Coppage. I head up technology recruiting at AOL, and I know we have a great crowd here. It's a really great turnout. It's a packed day today. A lot of great demos, a lot of panel discussions, just a lot of collaboration and talk around, things of infrastructure, automation, big data. I mean, we're all faced with those challenges around big data, mobile, different applications, whether they're native apps, web applications in development. I encourage everyone today to take advantage of the talent that's in the room today. I mean, there's talent from all over, different companies, different business sectors, etc. Talk about your best practices, creative ideas, your experiences. Take advantage of that. I know it piqued the interest in our development team here at AOL. And I've been back and forth from downstairs to upstairs, but I know there's a lot of AOL developers. If there's anyone from the AOL development team, can you stand, please? Who's from AOL? Where are the AOLers in the room? Okay. And I asked them to stand because they're experiencing the same things, same challenges, the same experiences that everyone else is experiencing. If you like to just seek them out when you take a break or in the social hour, they'll be here. Also, some of the reps from HR that support those teams, raise your hand in the back. They could share with you, some of the experiences that, they're helping them with getting the talent and just working on various projects around, big data, the mobile, mail, premium subscriptions. Our Gather product is just rolled out, and we're doing a lot of great things with that as well. And if you like what you see at the facility here, I know some of you have been here before, but if you haven't been to AOL in a while, you can see a lot of the changes that we've made here. And if you want to get a tour around the facility, you can see some of the reps in the back or sync up with some of the individuals here from AOL. They'd love to take you around the facility to share some of the amenities that we have here, some of the cool things we do when we're in our downtime. We work hard, but we play hard too. So, enjoy your day. Take advantage of the talent that's in the room. Please collaborate, and I'm quite sure you guys will have a great day. Thank you.
thank you, everybody. Break time.
I hope I didn't. Shut up, thanks. You're good. No. Tony. Yep. I'm sure that I didn't. What? I didn't get any.
3 years from now, what's the market?
Everything that's all I need is
Hello. One quick announcement. So we're gonna make this room split into two. So you have to just go out for a while until you make this big room into two rooms.
The only person rocking a Galaxy Note in the world.
consumer electronics adoption.
Oh my God.
To,
Yeah, light.
smartphone and tablet.
Oh no, I'll get you more light. Hold on. Yeah, that's only fair. Who's ever doing that? Knock it off!
I keep telling you, don't say that.
Oh man.